On the peak of Olympus, golden sunlight gleamed over the sparkling white marble pillars where the gods gathered for a lavish feast. Zeus's thunderous laughter echoed, blending with the melodic tunes of Apollo's lyre. Suddenly, the peaceful air was shattered by a monstrous roar from beneath the earth. The sky turned black as an unexpected eclipse swallowed the sun. The gods panicked, golden goblets crashing onto the floor, the sound ringing through the halls. From the deepest abyss, Nyxaros rose, a monstrous being with bat-like wings that engulfed the sky, a dragon's head spewing black flames, and a serpent's tail writhing like a living nightmare. His crimson eyes locked onto Zeus, who clenched his thunderbolt in defiance. A cold, deep voice echoed through Olympus. "Olympus shall drown in darkness."
Hello everyone, I'm the Myth Teller, bringing you thrilling and mysterious tales from the world of gods. If you love epic battles and divine drama, hit that subscribe button to join me in uncovering these myths. Today, we delve into the legend of Nyxaros, the shadow beast that shook Olympus. Get ready for an unexpected journey, the prophecy and the illusion of peace. After the great victory over Typhon, Olympus seemed to return to peace. Zeus, the king of the gods, sat upon his grand throne of gold and clouds, holding his radiant lightning bolt, his gaze full of authority. Hera, queen of the gods, stood beside Zeus, her sharp gaze ever watchful. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, was engrossed in an ancient scroll on military strategy, while Apollo, the god of light, music and prophecy, plucked his lyre, his melodies soothing the divine halls. One day, at the Temple of Delphi, the priestess Pythia suddenly collapsed, her eyes turning white, and she spoke with a trembling voice. "Darkness will rise from the abyss. The one who bears light will lead the way, and Olympus will tremble before a wrath unseen." The prophecy spread like wildfire, causing great unrest among the gods. Zeus frowned, but then laughed loudly. "I defeated Typhon. No one dares to challenge me now." Apollo, the only one who truly understood the prophecy's meaning, remained silent. He knew darkness referred to Nyxaros, a creature secretly created by Gaia and Tartarus to challenge Olympus. But instead of warning Zeus, Apollo gazed at his father's throne with a complex expression. Though trusted by Zeus, he felt like nothing more than a tool, a light serving his father's glory, not his own. His pride, burning as fiercely as the sun, ignited a daring thought. If Zeus falls, I shall be the ruler of Olympus. That night, an unexpected solar eclipse plunged the sky into absolute darkness. A roar from deep within the earth shook the sacred mountain. Zeus rose, his thunderbolt glowing brightly, but Apollo only whispered in the shadows, "It has arrived." In the deepest depths of the ocean, where no light could reach, a colossal fissure suddenly tore open. The sea boiled, white foam churning like the blood of cursed souls. From that abyss, Nyxaros emerged, a horror beyond imagination. Poseidon, god of the sea, stood upon his coral throne, his trident trembling. Thousands of years ago, in his fury towards Zeus, he had secretly collaborated with Gaia to create Nyxaros, a weapon meant to overthrow his brother. But Poseidon had not foreseen that this monster would grow beyond his control. As Nyxaros rose, he did not bow to Poseidon. Instead, he roared, shaking the entire ocean. "I am darkness, and I will consume all. Nyxaros did not stop at the sea. He spread his wings and flew straight into the sky, leaving behind towering tsunamis that swallowed everything in his path. He dove into Tartarus, shattering the divine chains that had imprisoned the Titans. Prometheus, the firebringer of mankind, rose from the shadows, his eyes burning with hatred. Briareus, the hundred-handed Titan, roared as he broke free from his shackles. Leading this terrifying army, Nyxaros declared, "Zeus will kneel before me." On Olympus, the gods began to sense the growing threat. Zeus called for an emergency meeting, and Apollo, as his trusted advisor, was asked to interpret the prophecy. But he merely smiled mysteriously, saying, "Time will give us the answer, Father." Within him, the seeds of betrayal had begun to take root. Apollo's betrayal and internal conflict. In the grand throne hall of Olympus, the divine torches cast shimmering light upon Zeus's stern face.
He stood, his voice booming like thunder. A new enemy has arisen. I need all of you united under my command to protect Olympus. Hera nodded in agreement. Athena raised her spear, and Ares, the god of war, let out an eager roar. But Apollo, the most beloved of Zeus's children, stood silently in the corner, gripping his silver bow tightly, golden eyes stormy with inner conflict. Apollo was not born a traitor. He was the god of light, the bringer of truth and hope, and his love for Zeus was sincere. Zeus often praised him, calling him the eternal flame of Olympus, and entrusting him with the most important mission, to lead the gods against Typhon with his radiant arrows. After that battle, Zeus embraced Apollo in front of all the gods and said, "You are my pride." But this trust became a burden on Apollo's pride. Though beloved by Zeus, Apollo realized he held no real power. He saw that Zeus viewed him as an instrument, a light that served the throne, not an equal. Despite his prophetic abilities and radiant might, Zeus always gave final authority to himself or Athena. Apollo, who could see the future, began to wonder, if I can foresee destiny, why can't I shape it? Gaia appeared in the water, her voice warm yet chilling. Apollo, your light can guide Nyxaros to Olympus. If Zeus falls, you will be the king of gods. Apollo hesitated, his hands trembling as he set his lyre down. He looked into his reflection in the water, a radiant god with golden hair, yet his eyes full of conflict. I love my father, but I cannot remain his shadow forever, he thought. That night, Hermes, the swift-footed messenger god, snuck into Apollo's palace to search for clues about Nyxaros. He discovered a hidden scroll beneath Apollo's throne, inscribed with chilling words, "Darkness shall rise from the sea, and the one who bears light shall lead it." Hermes' heart pounded as he realized Apollo not only knew of Nyxaros' coming, but also intended to aid the beast. He sprinted toward the grand hall, shouting, "Apollo is a traitor!" All eyes turned to Apollo. Zeus stepped down from his throne, his eyes burning with rage yet laced with sorrow. "My son, why?" he asked, his voice breaking with disbelief. Apollo lifted his head, his golden hair gleaming under the torchlight, his voice calm yet resolute. "Father, you love me, but you never set me free. I am the light of Olympus, but my light only serves your throne. I want an Olympus where I can shine my own way." Apollo's words struck Zeus like a blade to the heart. He raised his thunderbolt, but his hand trembled. "I trusted you more than anyone," Zeus said, his voice thick with pain. "And now you betray me?" Apollo smiled sadly. "Not betrayal, father. This is the fate I choose." Zeus could take no more. With a powerful strike, he cast Apollo down, the thunderbolt knocking him onto the marble floor, divine blood dripping from his lips. "You will be imprisoned in the north, where your light will never reach," Zeus commanded, and the divine guards seized Apollo. But before disappearing, Apollo laughed loudly. "Nyxaros has come, and you will see how my light leads the darkness." Apollo's betrayal threw Olympus into chaos. The gods lost trust in one another, and Zeus, though mighty, felt a painful emptiness in his heart. Taking advantage of the turmoil, Nyxaros led the Titan army to attack Olympus, his massive form blotting out the sky. The battle begins. Nyxaros stood in the midst of the battlefield, his colossal bat wings flapping, creating storms that sent marble pillars flying. The Titans roared, attacking the gods with primal fury. Zeus hurled lightning bolts, each strike shaking the heavens, but Nyxaros merely scoffed as his black flames devoured the bolts. Poseidon summoned a great tidal wave from the ocean, drowning the shadow army, but Nyxaros' serpent tail lashed out, sending Poseidon crashing down. Hades released Cerberus, the three-headed hound lunging forward, but even it couldn't pierce Nyxaros' steel-like skin. The gods were growing desperate. "We cannot lose!" Hera shouted, but her voice was drowned out by Nyxaros' roar. Just as all hope seemed lost, a lone figure emerged through the battlefield smoke. It was Iphigenia, the warrior secretly trained by Artemis. Her long black hair flowed in the wind, her determined eyes gleaming as she held a silver bow blessed by the goddess of the hunt. Behind her, Artemis's elite huntresses stood ready. Iphigenia loosed an arrow, its divine light piercing Nyxaros' darkness, making him roar in agony. "I am Iphigenia," she declared, "and I will end this nightmare." Her warriors charged, arrows raining down like a divine storm, pushing back the Titans. Iphigenia advanced toward Nyxaros, drawing a short moonlit sword and stabbing it into his chest. Nyxaros roared, black flames surging, but Iphigenia held her ground. She turned to Zeus and declared, "This isn't just Nyxaros' doing. Gaia is behind all of this." The battlefield of Olympus was engulfed in thick dust, the roars of titans and the clash of metal ringing through the heavens. Nyxaros, the colossal beast with bat-like wings and 3 heads, dragon, serpent and lion, roared with fury. His black flames scorched the divine army, while his serpent tail lashed out, toppling titans with a single strike. Zeus, standing at the heart of the battlefield, clenched his radiant thunderbolt, determination flashing in his weary eyes. Beside him, Poseidon brandished his trident, swirling waves around him like a living shield, but his gaze flickered with hesitation, concealing a long-buried secret. The sky above Olympus darkened, thick storm clouds swirling in chaotic motion. Suddenly the ground trembled violently, deep cracks spreading like a massive web. The gods halted their battle. Even Nyxaros paused, his glowing red eyes narrowing as he sensed the shift. From the depths, a low rumble echoed, as if the very earth was speaking. Rocks crumbled, trees uprooted, and then a massive hand of stone and roots burst through the surface, eclipsing Zeus's thunderbolt. Gaia, the great mother of the earth, manifested in a form beyond imagination. She was so vast that her head touched the storm clouds, her hair woven from dead vines and granite, her gemstone eyes glimmering with icy detachment. Her cracked, soil-covered skin pulsed with the energy of the world's foundation. Each step she took sent tremors through Olympus, leaving behind massive craters. Her voice thundered like an avalanche, silencing all other sounds. "You arrogant gods think you can rule my world forever. Nyxaros is only the beginning. I will reclaim all that was lost." The gods stood frozen. Even Zeus, the supreme ruler of Olympus, felt a chill down his spine. He turned to Poseidon, who lowered his head, gripping his trident tightly, but refusing to meet his brother's gaze. "Poseidon!" Zeus's voice thundered, his lightning bolt flaring. "You knew about this, didn't you?" But then, an unexpected turn of events. Nyxaros, standing amidst the battlefield, suddenly roared in fury. His lion's head let out a thunderous roar, its crimson eyes locked onto Gaia. "You used me!" he bellowed, his voice shaking the very air. "I am no puppet, Mother Earth!" The dragon head spewed forth black flames, surging straight for Gaia. She raised her hand, summoning a massive wall of stone to block the flames, but Nyxaros' power was overwhelming. The wall cracked and shattered, debris scattering across the battlefield. Enraged, Gaia summoned hundreds of stone arms from the earth, each as tall as a tower, slamming down on Nyxaros. But he dodged, his massive bat wings stirring a hurricane of darkness, consuming the stone arms. His serpent tail lashed out, wrapping around Gaia's legs, pulling her off balance. "You will pay for this!" Nyxaros roared, his razor-sharp claws tearing through space, striking toward Gaia. A war of 3 forces. The battle had now become an uncontrollable 3-sided war. Zeus and the gods against Nyxaros, Nyxaros against Gaia, and Gaia against them all. Below, Iphigenia, the fearless warrior of Artemis, darted through the battlefield. She raised her bow, moonlit arrows piercing through the shadow creatures Nyxaros had summoned. "Strike their weak points," she commanded, her voice firm and unwavering. Zeus charged at Nyxaros, his thunderbolt burning like the sun, striking deep into the beast's side. Nyxaros roared in agony, but his claws slashed downward, tearing through Zeus's golden armor, divine blood spilling onto the battlefield. Poseidon, though weakened, summoned one final tsunami, drowning the attacking titans. Hades unleashed his army of souls, but Nyxaros' serpent tail sent them scattering like leaves in a storm. Iphigenia, with agility honed under Artemis's guidance, leaped onto Nyxaros' back. She drove her moonlit sword into his hardened scales, making him shriek in agony. Black flames erupted from the dragon's maw, but Iphigenia evaded just in time, rolling onto the battlefield and shouting to Zeus, "Gaia is the true mastermind. We must stop her first." Zeus turned to Gaia, who smirked wickedly amidst the smoke and ruin. "You have gone too far, Mother Earth," he said, his voice low but heavy with authority. Gaia laughed, her laughter shaking distant mountains. "I am Mother Earth, Zeus. I created you all, and I will destroy you all." Nyxaros, in a fit of rage, lunged at Gaia once more. His claws tore through a part of her stone body, sending chunks of rock flying. Gaia groaned, but immediately regenerated, summoning hundreds of stone arms from the ground, wrapping around Nyxaros. He roared, black flames searing the arms, but Gaia would not relent. Her primordial power was boundless, even making Zeus hesitate for a moment. The battle reached its peak. Zeus unleashed his strongest lightning bolt, merging it with Poseidon's final tsunami and Hades' undead army, striking Nyxaros head-on. He collapsed, his bat wings torn, the black flames fading. But Gaia, undeterred, raised her hands and summoned a new beast from the earth, a towering colossus with hundreds of stone arms, as massive as a mountain. "You think you have won?" Gaia laughed. "I have more pieces to play." Nyxaros' last stand. Though exhausted, Nyxaros still hurled himself at Gaia's newly summoned beast, creating an apocalyptic clash. His dragon's mouth unleashed a torrent of black flames, engulfing the colossus in darkness. Meanwhile, Zeus seized the moment and commanded the gods, "Focus on Gaia." Iphigenia led her warriors in an all-out assault from below, moonlit arrows piercing through Gaia's dark creatures, weakening her power. Athena commanded the gods to strike at Gaia's colossal legs, while Ares, wielding his fiery spear, relentlessly struck at her stone armor. At last, Zeus hurled his most powerful lightning bolt, merging with Apollo's golden arrow, released at the last moment by Hera. The combined strike hit Gaia square in the chest, sending a shockwave across Olympus. Her massive body crumbled, shaking the heavens. Nyxaros too collapsed, his bat-like wings torn, his dark flames flickering out. But before fading, he turned to Zeus, whispering, "You think you have won? Gaia has created many like me. I will return. Will." Though gravely wounded, Gaia still smiled from beneath the battlefield. "This war is not over, Zeus. It has only just begun," she whispered, before her body sank back into the earth, the ground swallowing her whole. The battle at Olympus ended in an eerie silence. Gaia, the great Mother Earth, lay fallen amidst the wreckage, her form merging into the earth like a slumbering mountain. Nyxaros, the monstrous beast of darkness, his tattered bat wings limp, his black flames extinguished, lay motionless not far away. Smoke from the battle still drifted, veiling the crimson sunset in a haze of uncertainty. The gods stood frozen, their weapons still clenched in their hands, yet none dared to declare victory. A strange unease gripped the battlefield. Zeus, the king of gods, stood amidst the desolation. His white robes were torn, but his lightning bolt still crackled with brilliant blue light, a symbol of undying authority. He turned toward Iphigenia, the enigmatic warrior who had appeared unexpectedly and saved Olympus from Nyxaros' rampage. "You said Gaia was behind all of this," Zeus spoke, his voice low but commanding. "But why? What was her true purpose?" Iphigenia stepped forward, her long black hair whipping in the wind, the moonlit sword in her hand glinting like a lone star in the darkness. "It was never just revenge for the Titans," she declared, her voice unwavering. "Gaia wanted to restore the old order, the era when she and Tartarus, the primordial entities, ruled over all creation. To her, the gods were nothing more than pretenders. Nyxaros was merely the first step in her plan, but certainly not the last." Nyxaros' final curse. Before Zeus could respond, a chilling sound rose from Nyxaros' fallen form. His crimson eyes flickered open, dim but still burning with undying hatred. "You cannot kill me,"
Nyxaros rasped, his voice like a whisper from the abyss. I am darkness, and darkness is eternal. Zeus raised his lightning bolt, ready to strike the final blow, but Iphigenia swiftly held up her hand to stop him. Wait, she shouted, her sharp gaze fixed on the monster. He knows something. We need to hear him out. Nyxaros sneered, his labored breath exhaling thick black smoke. Gaia birthed me from the darkness of Tartarus and the wrath of the Earth Mother, he said, his voice weak but sinister. But I am not the only one. Beneath the earth, in caverns where light never reaches, Gaia has created dozens like me. They are stronger, more brutal, and waiting for their moment to rise. Olympus will fall, and nothing can stop it. The air turned icy. The gods exchanged horrified glances. Hermes, his winged helmet still, whispered, "So this is just the beginning." Nyxaros nodded slowly, his crimson eyes flashing with triumph. "Yes, I will return soon. And this time, no lightning of Zeus will save you." Unable to hold back, Zeus unleashed his mightiest lightning bolt at Nyxaros. A blinding light tore through the sky, followed by a thunderous roar. Nyxaros dissolved into a black mist, sucked toward a distant volcano on Crete. With supreme power, Zeus sealed the mountain, turning it into an eternal prison for the dark monster. But even as the mountain stilled, Nyxaros's words lingered like a curse in everyone's mind. Apollo, newly freed from his icy prison by Hera to atone, stepped toward Zeus. "Father," he said, voice trembling, "are Nyxaros's words true? Has Gaia created more like him?" Zeus remained silent, his gaze fixed on the darkening horizon. He recalled the prophecy from centuries ago. Darkness will rise from the abyss, and Olympus will tremble. He had thought Nyxaros was the sole threat, but now he realized it was just a pawn in Gaia's larger game. Suddenly, from beneath the earth, Gaia's voice echoed, faint but menacing. "You may have won this battle, Zeus, but do not celebrate yet. Nyxaros is my child, and I have legions more. One day soon, darkness will swallow Olympus, and your throne will crumble to dust beneath my feet." Zeus clenched his fist, lightning crackling fiercely in his hand. "You may threaten," he replied, his voice steady, "but I am the king of the gods. Olympus will never bow to you." Gaia laughed, her voice like the cracking of the earth. "We shall see, Zeus. We shall see." Then her presence faded, leaving an eerie silence. In the days that followed, Olympus began to rebuild from the ruins. But the joy of victory was replaced by unease. Poseidon, the conspirator, was imprisoned in a watery cell beneath the ocean, awaiting judgment. Apollo, partially forgiven, was still shunned by the other gods for his betrayal. Hermes tried to ease tensions with his wit, but suspicion lingered. Iphigenia, the brave warrior, refused all praise from the gods. She quietly left Olympus with her huntresses, leaving a message for Zeus. "Be vigilant, my lord. The darkness is not over. It is merely hiding, waiting for its moment." Standing on the palace balcony, Zeus gazed down at the mortal world below. He sensed a new threat growing in the shadows, and for the first time, he wondered if his power would be enough to face what was coming. From the volcano on Crete, where Nyxaros was sealed, a faint but hateful roar echoed, like an unending curse. "I will return, and Olympus will fall."